Thanks for staying with us. Yet another municipality is reportedly threatening to find itself without rates because of service delivery issues as residents are unhappy. There were also water issues that saw a community in Umhlanga without water for days. Now, this is not the first time that a community in eThekwini is threatening to withhold the rates. You'd remember here on the show, we brought you one community that was very upset about service delivery, and they were saying that they've now reached this particular point where they think it's not even worth paying for those rates. And we reached out to the eThekwini municipality for a response, and we're still waiting for a confirmation on who the guest is to answer some of these questions. But let's speak to Terri MacLarty, who's Umhlanga Ratepayers and Residents Association Chair. Thank you so much, Terri, for your time. A few weeks ago, we had a conversation with a Ratepayers Association in eThekwini, very unhappy with service delivery, and they were saying for them, they're withholding rates, and it is what it is. And I wonder, from your vantage point, is it something you're planning to do as ratepayers, or are you simply backing their cause?
I'm not backing what they're doing. I understand fully. Thanks, Bongiwi, by the way. I understand fully their anger and their frustration, because we've been through it. I mean, there are so many things that are affecting our towns and cities in eThekwini on a service delivery level. The last of them being this water crisis, and I believe that one of the towers is now empty again, so that's still becoming a crisis. But there are a number of things. We've had taxi problems here, where the taxis are blockaded because the eThekwini cannot provide them with taxi ranking facilities. And our taxis are vitally important to our community. So this community supports what the taxis need, and we will fight with them to get what they deserve. We had a meeting with the mayor 3.5 weeks ago, and we were made quite a few promises of things that would be done, and we're still waiting for those. So I'm waiting to sort out another meeting where we can get some more feedback.
And what were some of those things, Terri? Pardon me.
Some of the things we've had, the taxi situation, there's no ranking for them. The beaches are closed every 5 minutes. The sewage has not been repaired. They told us at the meeting that it wouldn't happen anymore because they'd found the problems with the sewage, but it continues to happen. The water issue is on a very old infrastructure. What has happened is now they've put the pressure back, we'll end up with burst pipes all over. So places are all still going without water intermittently in different areas.
What answers are you getting, especially when it comes to this particular water issue? Because, for example, it's not unique to where you are. Even here in Gauteng, there were areas without water, and we were hearing that there's issues with reservoirs, there's infrastructure issues and all sorts of things. And I wonder, what kind of answers are you getting as residents?
Well, we were told in the beginning that they couldn't find the problem, and they were looking for airlocks, and then they found some valves that were damaged. And now that they say they've replaced the valves that were damaged, they have said that it's all going to be fine. They have a new water line, which they're trying to get commissioned and swap over to, but that is not really effective yet. It has not been commissioned, and they want to change to that. But once that happens, you've still got the infrastructure that's going to burst all the time. So we need more than that. And I believe that as a ratepayers, we need to be listened to by the municipality. We have told them we do not support withholding rates because I believe that's not legal. But we will find legal ways to hold them accountable, because they are taking rates from this community. We support the larger, greater Umhlanga area, and they are wanting to withhold rates. And I'm saying we need to do this properly. We've registered in a formal eThekwini ratepayers. Join the ratepayers, do this as a community, as a large number of voices, and we can get them to deliver the services. Failing which, we'll have to see the next step.
So, Terri, you know, we often talk about these problems and say that there's an issue with water and all of that, but sometimes we don't even get to the nub of the challenges that this poses for residents, for businesses in the area, and just how difficult things become. Tell us about that.
Well, a number of the businesses are grouping together to actually do a class action claim because they've lost so much their revenue. We have 5-star hotels in Umhlanga. We have businesses that have been running for ages, and suddenly everything has gone to pot because the beaches are closed, the sewage is flowing. We've got businesses closing because of the building going on that's taking far longer than it should. And we are not happy with that. I tried as an individual to get some answers, and when I didn't get the answers, I decided we have to form a ratepayers, and I've got a committee of very supportive people. And I must mention that the city councillor in our area is extremely helpful. She's on the ground and she does so much for the community. But her hands are also tied. As a registered Ratepayers Association, we can demand interaction and we can demand services, and I won't be fobbed off. I mean, I've given them an opportunity. I met with them 3 weeks ago. They used it for publicity to say that it was amazing and that they're working with us, and I've had nothing ever since. So, I need action, and I'm probably like a bulldog, and my team have decided we will keep going until we get this right. They have an obligation, and if they don't have the right people or the right equipment, they need to sort it. I would like to go to provincial and to national if this is not sorted in the next few weeks.
And we're going to be having a conversation here on the show a little later on with the Water and Sanitation Department to also try to get to the bottom of some of these water issues. Is it a skills issue? Is it a capacity issue? Is it only an infrastructure issue? Because we're seeing quite a big issue emerging from there. And Terri will continue to monitor what happens in your particular case, especially even when you think about that protest where the taxi drivers were demanding that particular taxi rank. So let's see what happens there, and hopefully we get to speak to the eThekwini municipality for a response. As we've reached out to them, we're still waiting for confirmation on who the guest who's going to be answering some of these questions is going to be. That was Terri MacLarty, Umhlanga Ratepayers and Residents Association Chair.